Hi, ladies. I am so excited to spend a few minutes with you before Thanksgiving. I'm sure it's crazy. You're running around, you're getting the turkey trimmings, you're getting the whipped cream that you forgot, you're getting details all set and prepared for family coming in, and just all of these details. And I know it can be this beautiful holiday season that can be kind of stressful. So I just wanted to share with you just a few quick thoughts about being in gratitude and in this feeling and this sphere of gratitude, and not like, oh, Pollyanna, oh, I have to make 22 pies and I'm so happy and it's going to be glorious and wonderful, not like that, but more of a feeling of, wow, I have so much that I am grateful for. And guess what, that feeling is making me feel energized and happy, and that I am capable and that I am able to do and take care of whatever it is that's happening this week, that is going to bring in more of that feeling of gratitude, rather than I've got to hurry and get this stuff done because this is required of me as being a woman, wife, and mother. And so that's what I want to kind of talk about today. And I've got this wonderful talk, and it is from Dieter F. Uchtdorf, and I love it. It's called Being Grateful in Any Circumstances, and it's fantastic. And so if you get a second, just I would encourage you to listen to it while you're making the pies or while you're cleaning in the bathrooms, because it's just so good. It reminds us. But here's one of the things, a couple of things that he says that have just really struck me again. He said, it's easy to be grateful for things when life seems to be going our way. But then what of those times when what we wish for seems to be out of reach? Peace, joy, help in making the dinner. Could I suggest that we see gratitude as a disposition, as a way of life that stands independent of our current situation? In other words, I'm suggesting that instead of being thankful for things, we focus on being thankful in our circumstances, whatever they may be. So I got thinking about that. I was like, okay, how can I be more thankful in my circumstances? And I started looking around our home and looking around at my children and our lives, and saying, wait a second, start with just the bottom line. Okay, for me, thankful for Ziploc bags. I love Ziploc bags. I love a clean kitchen floor. I love a clear counter. I love when my girls make my bed for me. These are small, simple things, but they bring total joy to me in my life. So starting with those small things, those baseline, and then being grateful for things like, wow, I have a car and I can fill it with gas and I don't have to think about it. And it's working, and it's working well. And I've got a warm home with this bitter cold. I keep thinking I'm so grateful for heat. We went shopping the other day for some food storage stuff and emergency preparedness. And I was like, I'm so grateful that I can buy a Mr. Heater. I'm grateful that I can buy peaches, cans of peaches and oatmeal that I can put in this food storage. And again, just being grateful as I'm going along throughout my day, just expressing this gratitude to my Father in heaven of, I thank thee for that. I'm thankful for this opportunity. I'm grateful for these people in my life. So I want you to think for just a moment, what are just some simple everyday things that you can be and feel grateful for? The most simple things. You have a working can opener. You have a dishwasher. You have an oven. We have an oven that it needs to be fixed. And so I have to lift the oven door to get it to hook in so that we can cook the food. It's so funny. And I keep thinking, I need to get a new oven. I need to get a new oven. You know, it's that, It's a Wonderful Life. And every time he goes up the stairs, he pulls off the top of the little thing for the stairwell. The the baluster, whatever thing, I don't know, whatever it is. Anyway, pulls it off. So I want you to think of that. It's sometimes we have these irritations and we think, oh, I wish I had this, or I wish this was better. I wish I had a new house. I wish I had a better car. And yet the things that we have already in our lives are already so meaningful. And we already have so much. When we went to the orphanage in Mexico just a few weeks ago, and when I saw how grateful these children were for the things that they had, it was so tender and touching to me. We opened up bubbles that we get from the dollar store, those little wand bubbles. And this one little boy just squealed with delight, screamed with joy and happiness about these bubbles. And I thought, when was the last time that I screamed and squealed with delight about something so simple, something so easy that I could get at the dollar store? So I've started paying attention, and I almost want to squeal with delight with those simple things. Like, we painted our living room a different color. We keep looking at this color in the living room going, that is so pretty. That is so pretty. We just love it. It's like the most simple thing, costs a few dollars to actually have it on the wall, and yet it is such a simple joy. So I so encourage you to look for those simple thanks, those simple things of gratitude that keep you in a space of grace, that space of gratitude, that feeling that makes you have energy. Because that's the point that I want to make. When you are in a space of gratitude and when you are being in gratitude, you take it to this deeper level and you live in that space. You function in that space. You are grateful. You are a thankful being. And you will find yourself saying thank you to your children before you say, did you clean up your room? You will say, hey, thanks for doing that. Thanks for sweeping the walk. Thanks for feeding the cat. And you will find yourself having more of a thankful conversation. And even when things are difficult, even when things are hard, even when someone's being potentially rude or unkind, you will be able to look for the thing of gratitude. I had an experience on this past weekend where I forgot to bring something to an event that was happening for a neighbor. And when I came into the room, I had apologized to the person who was putting it on. And I said, I'm so sorry, I got the wrong time. And so I came, she said, don't worry about it, just come. And so I came in and someone made a couple of snarky comments about how I hadn't brought whatever. And all I did was go, thank you. And then moved on with the conversation and talked to the people around me. And it made me feel so happy. I was like, you know what? I've already apologized. There's nothing else to be done. And it's all good. I can just be thankful for it. So you're going to be with family this weekend. And that is a beautiful thing. And it will remind you of Dickens. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. And that's okay. So encourage yourself to have a spirit of gratitude. That if they are making a snarky comment or say somebody didn't bring what they're supposed to, or if something goes wrong, you can just be thankful. Just say, you know what, I'm so grateful that while the pumpkin pie burned, that we can run down and grab another one. Or, you know what, we got lots of finger snacks that we can do. So find the thing that you can be grateful for. Find the thing that you can say, you know what, even though this didn't meet my expectation, I can still be grateful for this. And that's what he says. He says, sometimes we think that being grateful is what we do after our problems are solved, but how terribly short-sighted that is. He says this type of gratitude, that being in gratitude transcends whatever is happening around us. It surpasses disappointment, discouragement, and despair. It blooms just as beautifully in the icy landscape of winter as it does in the pleasant warmth of summer. When we are grateful to God in our circumstances, we can experience gentle peace in the midst of tribulation. Or family get-togethers, we can still lift our hearts in praise, and we can have that closeness and warmth of heaven's embrace. Isn't that beautiful? He says true gratitude is an expression of hope and testimony. It comes from acknowledging that we do not always understand the trials of life, but trusting that one day we will. And he says, this is Dieter F. Uchtdorf in the talk, Grateful in Any Circumstances I mentioned. But he says, how blessed we are if we recognize God's handiwork in the marvelous tapestry of life. Gratitude broadens our perception and clears our vision. It inspires humility and fosters empathy toward our fellow men and all God's creations. And then this is my favorite. Gratitude is a catalyst to all Christ-like attributes. A thankful heart is the parent of all virtues. And it is. Anything good that happens in our life, I promise you, it starts with gratitude. It starts with being grateful for what we already have, what we already feel, what we already know. And if we're in a difficult situation, it's going back to what we already have, what we already know, what we already feel good about, going back to those places. So this weekend, when things might be getting stressful, don't focus on the negative, don't focus on the flaws, don't focus on the expectations gone awry that didn't get fulfilled. Instead, focus on the truth and the good that you know, and the truth and the good that you feel, and find the good thing. Find the gratitude thing that you can find. It may take a little doing, but look for that gratitude, and I promise you, the second that you choose to be in gratitude is the second you'll have energy, you'll have joy, you'll have happiness, you'll have ideas, you'll have inspiration, you'll have all of those good things, because as soon as you switch that train switch to gratitude, your thoughts, your ideas, your feelings, everything switches. That darkness goes and the light clicks on, just like a light switch. So I invite you to turn the light switch of gratitude on this weekend. And the second you start to feel that negativity, frustration, resentment, anger, flip the switch to gratitude, to being in a space of gratitude. Okay? And happy Thanksgiving.